All right, good morning, Facebook. We've got a very special guest. If you just saw the CBS 42 Morning News, you just saw this guy, Apollo Crews, ready to invade Birmingham. You are?
For sure.
You are in Birmingham, yeah. SmackDown live coming your way later on tonight at the BJCC, and he's in town for that. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
It's great to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you've been a WWE superstar for a little less than a year now.
Yeah. I think it's been WWE superstar for like I'd say 6 months. I'm not even sure it's been that, but I mean I'm loving every single day of it. You know, traveling in to see new places. You know, building my brand and just trying to be the greatest and biggest superstar I can be.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and mentioning that, you right before WWE, you were in NXT. So you debuted at Brooklyn last August, right? So it's been a pretty wild 13 months for you.
It's been like Brooklyn was in NXT was actually my 28th birthday. I got to debut on my 28th birthday, which was amazing. I don't know if it's set up like that, but it was it was cool. And then flash forward a year later, I was wrestling at SummerSlam that same weekend. For the Intercontinental title at that, against The Miz, and it's one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. And for me, everyone keeps asking me what's the craziest thing or what's the best part that's happened in your career, and I'm like I can't just pick one because it started with Brooklyn in 2015 at NXT. Then we got to go to England, and then WrestleMania in Dallas, and then debuting the night after WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw. Then SummerSlam. All these things just keep stacking on top of each other, and it's just like it's just one big dream. And I feel like I worked so hard to get to this point, and it was my dream to get here. It still is my dream to be here. And then now that I'm here, it just feels like I'm dreaming. It's funny how that works.
And you mentioned this, and I'm going to do a cheap plug for the WWE Network, but they had a great special on called Breaking Ground, where we actually got to see you get the call up to the main roster. What was that feeling like? Like, was that a genuine thing, like where they just straight up told you then, hey, by the way, after this you're going to Raw?
Yeah, it was. It was. I wrestled Elias Sampson for NXT Dallas Takeover, and Kenyon Seaman pulled me aside. Triple H is there, Matt Bloom, the head coach down at NXT, and I'm kind of sitting here like, what's going on? It was April Fool's, so I think that like, hey, Triple H pulls me aside, gives me this amazing speech, how hard I've worked, now the work's just gonna get really started, and you're debuting on Monday Night Raw. And I was like, ha! Yeah, it's a good one. You know what I mean? I was like, wait, are you serious?
Yeah, that was a genuine reaction.
It was genuine emotion, yeah, and I broke down in tears. It just, when it really did hit me, I think I hugged, Coach Bloom, and it just like, all just kind of came out, man. And I just couldn't believe, like, as a kid, I watched, wrestling, and for me to actually be here, it was just like, wow, and it was just real emotions.
Yeah,
real emotions.
So your WWE career's been about a year, but you were on the Indies for good 5, 6 years, as Yuha Nation.
Yep.
And you were one of the guys that you'd watch film, and during the NXT kind of blow up, when they were starting to sign some guys, we're like, you got to get this guy in there.
I was so happy to be a part of that because they're bringing in so many people, from Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, we had Adrian Neville, all these guys that even before I became any kind of name on the Indies, I was actually watching it and was inspired by it, and then to get to come and train with them, another one, Hideo Itami, you know what I mean? It was awesome. I learned so much just following those guys and seeing the path that they took. It's cool that we all get to we see where each other started, and then you all get to be kind of watch each other's careers grow and make it together, so to speak, I guess.
And on that front, I know, and me and Nate talk about this all the time, but like we've heard just how amazing this performance center is down in Orlando. Just what's it like being in that place, especially like with guys like Bloom as a coach, or like seeing someone like Albert become this huge trainer is just amazing to watch. What's it like?
It's so cool. I mean, top of the line training facility, top of the line coaches with fountains of knowledge. Norman Smiley, Robbie Brookside, Terry Taylor, Sarah Amato is another one. We got Sarah Stock down there now. I mean, it's set up for your success. If you don't take full advantage of it, you're just you're a fool. You know what I mean? The first time I walked in there, I was like, because I was used to training in like a broken down part of town, behind you know, a strip club, you know, and it's just what it was like in you know, the heart of Atlanta, and it just broken down rings and just like people in and out. But you come to something so organized and so professional from where I started to where I am now. It's like night and day. It's amazing. Love it.
Tell me, you grew up. I guess you were born in California.
Yep.
Did you grow up in Atlanta or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I moved to Atlanta when I was 2 years old.
Okay.
My dad got a job with the CDC, so we moved down there to Atlanta and moved on to Africa until I was about 14 when I came back to Atlanta to finish off high school.
Gotcha.
After I got done with college, I went to school in Alabama, actually, at Auburn.
Well, just
So what were you watching when you were growing up? What kind of wrestling were you watching? Georgia Championship Wrestling, Florida Championship Wrestling. Were you?
I was an Attitude Era guy. You
Okay.
know? Yeah, there's a little bit of WCW in there too. Yep. TNA. I watch it all. I like just the Attitude Era was my thing. Me and my brother, it's like, don't try this at home, and I preach that every day. Do not try this at home. But as a young kid, me and my brother would get in the living room and just start tearing up my mom's stuff, just trying what we saw on TV, because we knew we by the time we both wanted to be, WWE superstars, and he took his own path and I took my path. But as a kid, you couldn't tell us not to try any of this. And I preach it every day. We're trained professionals. We take very high risks. We get injured. Do not try this stuff at home, But as a kid, I was so I remember the first time I ever watched wrestling. My dad is actually a big wrestling fan. He still is up to this day. It was Ultimate Warrior and The Undertaker on the screen. I was like 3 or 4 years old, and I'm just kind of wandering around. And I see him watching wrestling, and since the day I was hooked. I know he never thought that I'd try to become a professional wrestler, because where he's from, he's Nigerian. You take a whole nother path in life. You go to school and kind of stick to what society wants you to do. It's almost unimaginable for anyone to branch out and chase their dreams or say they want to be a WWE superstar, which where he's from is like this just impossible goal to attain, So I told him that, and he was like, kind of like, I think the first reaction is like, you're a fool for trying this, but then it went to, okay, I'm gonna let him go do this, and when he fails, he'll realize that I'm right, to, he's really actually like putting all he has into this, and then now I'm here, and he's still, I think,
he's still a little bit
yeah,
off.
He's still, yeah. It's all good though. I have my family's full support and their love, and they still haven't got to come out to a show yet, so I hope that day gets to happen. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned a little bit of this on the interview before, but now that you're on SmackDown Live, you're what, 2 months into the brand split.
Yep.
Just how different is that? Just being on the road with the SmackDown brand versus kind of before when you were on Raw and SmackDown.
I think with us, it's we get more downtime, a little bit more downtime, which is always good for recovery and stuff, because we do we work extremely hard, and that's all for me personally. That's one thing I want people to appreciate. Just the average person is that we put a lot of time into what we do. There's no off time for us. There's no downtime. So we have like a ridiculous amount of talent. The cruiserweights just came up. We got NXT. You know what I mean? And just the main roster itself. Raw and SmackDown it's amazing talent. So it's a good opportunity for everyone to get spotlighted or get a chance to show something that they may not have showed before the brand split. I think it's just a better opportunity for everybody. It's a lot less stressful travel, but at the end of the day, we're here to entertain the fans, and that's what we're gonna do. Yeah.
Is there a guy that may be on the roster now or might be in NXT right now that you want to work with?
Oh man, there's so many. I couldn't even the list is just goes on, and a lot of them that were actually on my list. One that I've actually got to be in the ring with, Chris Jericho, was someone I legit grew up watching, and getting to share the ring with him was an honor. And I look at that like, I mean, I legit watched him growing up. You know what I mean? And for me to be able to be in the ring with him, and he's such an awesome guy, man. It's it doesn't get much better than that. Not a lot of people get to live out their dreams or play with Michael Jordan or whoever. They might the kids growing up might not get to play with LeBron James ever. I've got to play with Michael Jordan. Who I looked at as Michael Jordan. So for me, it doesn't get much better than that.
Cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna, because like you said, you're very busy. Obviously, you're here at 6:30 in the morning. So it's like, yeah, not a lot of downtime for you. So
Right, for sure.
SmackDown tonight.
SmackDown Live.
What time the gates open? They open 4.
Gates open at 4:45,
Okay.
and the show starts at 6:15. We got out there. We got all your favorite superstars and me, of course, the biggest one of them all. No, just kidding. We got John Cena. We got Dean Ambrose, new WWE World Champion AJ Styles. We got the new SmackDown Live Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Just Baron Corbin, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. All your favorite superstars. Tickets are as low as $15. You get them at Ticketmaster.com or the Legacy Arena box office.
Well,
We're there. We're there. It's great fun for the family.
Well, Paulo, we thank you so much for doing
course.
this. When this is over, we'll put a link up to Ticketmaster so you have a chance to get some of those
Yeah,
tickets.
tickets. It's not too late. There's still available tickets. And follow me on Twitter at Apollo Cruz. If you don't, we have some trouble.
He put Art in a headlock.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
so
so-
yeah. So hey, I don't want to come headlock everybody. Come to the show. No, seriously.